night's sleep.
Yeah.
You are not alone.
You're telling me.
Today, we're diving into personal energy management.
Okay.
How to stop those sneaky leaks that leave you feeling drained.
Love it.
We're combining practical advice
Right.
with insights from psychology.
Awesome.
We've got excerpts from this fascinating PDF, M.D PDF,
Oh, okay.
plus some thought-provoking visuals.
Cool.
Get ready to take notes, because we're about to uncover 7 ways you might be leaking power without even realizing it.
Okay, so let's start with this.
Okay.
Who you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
They can either be your biggest cheerleaders or, well, let's just say not so much.
Yeah. Remember that time you poured your heart into something?
Yeah.
Only to have someone totally rain on your parade. Talk about an energy drain.
It's the worst.
So this taps into our deep need for belonging and validation.
It totally does.
When those needs aren't met, it creates internal conflict and saps our motivation.
For sure.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So how do we spot the difference between constructive criticism, which can be helpful,
Right.
and someone who's just an energy vampire?
Okay, so constructive criticism, it comes from a place of wanting to help you grow.
Okay.
It's specific, actionable, and delivered with kindness.
Oh.
An energy vampire, on the other hand, will focus on the negative, generalize, and leave you feeling deflated.
Totally. And this visual really drives that point home.
Oh, yeah.
Don't waste your energy on people who don't support you.
It's so true.
It's about setting healthy boundaries and prioritizing relationships that lift you up instead of dragging you down.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so how do we actually do that?
Yeah.
How do we create those supportive connections?
You really have to pay attention to how you feel after interacting with someone.
Okay.
Do you feel energized or drained?
Yeah.
If someone consistently leaves you feeling depleted,
Yeah.
it might be time to reevaluate the relationship.
And that might mean having some tough conversations about needs and expectations.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that your energy is precious.
Right.
And choosing to spend it on relationships that fuel you, not deplete you.
Okay, so now let's talk about another energy leak.
Okay.
That inner voice.
Ah.
The one that's always second-guessing and criticizing.
Yes.
Who here has stressed over what someone else might be thinking?
Oh, all the time.
Oh my gosh, we all have.
Right.
And it's rooted in our evolutionary history. We're wired to seek safety and belonging.
We are.
And in today's world, that can translate into worrying about what others think of us, even though we know most people are too busy with their own lives to be judging our every move.
Exactly. Those what are they thinking spirals?
Yes.
They're often based on our own insecurities.
Yeah.
Not reality.
Not reality.
Yeah.
So those negative thoughts, they're usually inaccurate and unproductive.
Right.
But knowing that doesn't make them disappear.
It does.
How do we actually quiet that inner critic?
The key is to recognize those thoughts for what they are.
Okay.
Just thoughts, not facts.
Yeah.
And to challenge them with a dose of self-compassion.
Right. We'd never tell our best friend, you're a failure, you're not good enough.
Never.
So why do we say those things to ourselves?
Right.
This visual really resonated with me.
Oh, yeah.
Don't waste your energy on what others think about you.
Love that.
It's about shifting your focus from what you think others are thinking to what you know to be true about yourself.
Yes.
Your values, your strengths, your accomplishments. It's
Yeah.
like giving yourself permission to let go of that constant need for approval.
Totally.
Okay, ready to move on to our next energy leak.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about relationships,
Okay.
specifically those one-sided dynamics
Yes.
that can leave us feeling drained and resentful.
Oh, for sure.
Relationships should be a source of energy and support.
They should.
But when it's constantly one person giving and the other taking,
Yeah.
it can create a real imbalance in our energy flow.
Absolutely.
It's like emotionally carrying someone else's luggage all the time.
Yes, and just like carrying physical luggage can tire us out.
Right.
So can carrying that emotional weight in a relationship.
So true.
Yeah.
So how can we start to recognize those patterns?
Yeah.
How do we figure out if we're pouring energy into a dynamic that's not serving us?
Start by paying attention to how you feel.
Okay.
Do you feel energized and appreciated after interacting with this person, or do you feel drained and depleted?
It's about a balanced flow of giving and receiving, right?
Yeah.
Not a tit for tat, but a mutual sense of support.
Exactly like a tennis match.
Uh-huh.
Both players need to be engaged for it to be a good game.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
So say we realize a relationship feels a little one-sided.
Okay.
What then?
Honest and compassionate conversations are key.
Oh,
Share your feelings, your needs, and your expectations. But also be open to hearing the other person's perspective.
because sometimes those energy imbalances happen unintentionally.
Absolutely. Communication can often bring a relationship back into balance.
Right.
But we can't change someone.
Right.
We can only control our own actions and reactions.
This visual really captures that.
Yeah,
Don't waste your energy on one-sided relationships.
so good.
It's a powerful reminder that we have a choice in how we invest our energy.
We do.
And sometimes that investment means walking away from a relationship that's no longer serving us, even if it's difficult.
Yeah,
Letting go can be tough,
it can.
but also incredibly liberating.
It really can.
Okay, ready to tackle another energy leak.
Hit me.
This one's for all my recovering people pleasers out there.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about setting boundaries with people who only seem to need us occasionally.
I know exactly what you mean.
You know the type. They disappear for months,
Right.
then reappear out of the blue when they need
Right.
something.
Oh, yeah.
We've all been there.
Totally.
It's natural to want to be helpful,
Right.
but it's important to recognize the difference
Yeah.
between being a good friend and being taken advantage of.
Difference.
There's a big difference
Mm-hmm.
between being supportive and being a doormat.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Exactly.
Huh.
When we constantly overextend ourselves for people who don't reciprocate that same energy,
Right.
it can lead to resentment and frustration.
Yes.
Not to mention, it drains the energy we need for our own lives and goals.
Totally.
It's like we're so busy putting out everyone else's fires that we forget to take care of our own burning house.
Exactly.
So how do we set those boundaries?
Yeah.
How do we say no gracefully without feeling guilty?
It starts with recognizing your own worth
Okay.
and valuing your time and energy.
Okay.
Remember, no is a complete sentence.
Yeah.
You don't always need to justify your reasons.
Mind blown. I feel like some people never learn that no is a full sentence.
Exactly.
But seriously, it's true.
Yeah.
We don't owe anyone an explanation for taking care of ourselves.
You don't. And if someone truly cares about you, they'll understand
Yeah.
and respect your boundaries.
What if we want to help, but maybe not right now or not in the way they're asking?
That's where redirection comes in.
Okay.
Instead of a flat no,
Right.
offer alternatives.
Okay.
I can't help with that right now, but here's a resource you might find useful. Or I'm swamped this week, but how about we catch up next Tuesday?
It's about finding a win-win
Yes.
where you can be supportive without completely draining your energy reserve.
Exactly.
Okay, let's look at this visual.
Okay.
Don't waste your energy on people who need you occasionally.
It's a good reminder to be mindful of those energy dynamics.
Right.
And invest in relationships that are mutually beneficial.
Now let's talk about a sneaky energy leak that often disguises itself as helpfulness.
Oh, okay.
Trying to fix problems that aren't ours to solve.
Ah, yes, the fixer mentality.
Yes.
It's often rooted in a need for control.
Yeah.
Or at least the illusion of control.
It's like if I can just fix their problem, then maybe my life will feel more manageable.
Absolutely. When we feel overwhelmed in our own lives,
Yeah.
focusing on other people's problems can provide a temporary sense of purpose and agency.
But it's a temporary fix, right? Because we can't actually control other people's choices or outcomes.
Exactly. And when we pour all our energy into fixing things outside our control,
Right.
we neglect our own well-being.
Yeah.
And often end up feeling more stressed and depleted.
It becomes this vicious cycle
Yes.
because then we feel resentful for giving so much and not taking care of ourselves.
It's essential to remember that self-care isn't selfish.
Right.
It's crucial for our well-being and our relationships.
We can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly.
So how do we break free from this fixer mentality?
Awareness is key next time you feel the urge to jump in and save the day.
Right.
Pause. Ask yourself,
Okay.
is this truly my responsibility?
Right.
Am I letting my need to fix things overshadow what I need right now?
Sometimes the most helpful thing we can do for everyone involved is to prioritize our own well-being.
Right. Ask for help and practice acceptance.
Yeah.
It's about finding a balance that honors your energy.
So instead of carrying the weight of the world, we focus on what we can control and let go of the rest.
Speaking of letting go,
Oh, yeah.
that leads us perfectly into our next energy leak distractions.
This one's huge these days. Our phones are practically glued to our hands.
Right.
It's like we're terrified of even a moment of quiet. It's true. It's like we're all addicted to the constant buzz of notifications and updates.
It's wild, right?
What is it about those distractions that's so alluring and so draining at the same time?
Well, our brains are wired to seek out novelty and stimulation.
Okay.
And in today's world, there's an endless supply of it right at our fingertips. But it's important to remember that those distractions aren't actually helping us recharge.
Right.
If anything, they're making us more depleted.
It's like trying to outrun exhaustion. You're just going to wear yourself out even more in the process.
Exactly.
So how do we break free from that cycle? How do we cultivate a healthier relationship with distractions and create more space for stillness and presence?
Mindfulness is key here.
Okay.
The next time you have the urge to grab your phone or turn on the TV, pause for a moment and notice how you're feeling.
Okay.
Are you bored, anxious, restless?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Once you identify those triggers, you can start exploring healthier ways to cope.
exactly. Meditation, deep breathing, even just spending time in nature. These are all powerful ways to calm your nervous system and build resilience to stress.
And sometimes it's as simple as setting boundaries with technology, like designating certain areas in your home as no phone zones
Yes,
or scheduling regular digital detoxes.
absolutely. It's all about creating those pauses in the constant stream of information and stimulation.
Right.
When we allow ourselves those moments of stillness, we create space for creativity, connection, and joy.
It's so true. Some of my best ideas come to me when I'm away from my screens, just letting my mind wander.
I hear that.
Okay, ready to tackle our final energy leak. This one is all about investing wisely
Okay.
in relationships, in work, in all areas of our lives.
We all want to feel seen, appreciated, and valued.
Yes.
But sometimes we pour our energy into seeking that validation from the wrong people or investing in things that aren't truly aligned with our values.
It's like we're trying to force a square peg into a round hole. No matter how hard we try, it's just not going to fit.
Exactly. It's essential to remember that not everyone is going to get us, and that's okay.
Right.
And not every opportunity is going to be the right fit for our unique skills and passions.
So how do we know if we're investing our energy wisely?
Yeah.
How do we make sure we're pouring ourselves into relationships and pursuits that are truly aligned with our hearts?
Start by asking yourself,
Okay.
am I showing up authentically in this situation?
Okay.
Am I pursuing my own passions and goals, or am I trying to fit someone else's mold?
And if the answer is no, if it feels out of alignment, it might be time to redirect that energy elsewhere.
Letting go isn't a failure, it's a redirection towards something more fulfilling.
It's about creating space for those people and experiences that truly light us up.
Yes.
And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive.
Awesome.
What a journey. We covered so much ground today. We talked about the importance of surrounding ourselves with supportive people, quieting our inner critics, setting healthy boundaries, and prioritizing self-care.
It's a lot, right?
We discussed the dangers of distractions and the importance of being present.
Yeah.
And we explored how to invest our energy wisely in alignment with our values and passions. So much good stuff.
Yeah, tons of good stuff.
What's the key takeaway here for our listener?
I think it boils down to becoming more intentional about where we direct our energy.
Okay.
Notice where you're leaking energy and ask yourself if those are areas you want to reevaluate.
Okay.
Your energy is precious. Spend it wisely.
Love it.
Hmm.
It's not about being perfect. It's about making conscious choices that fuel us, not deplete us.
It's about creating a life that feels energizing and joyful.
Right.
It's a journey, not a destination.
So true. Until next time, remember you have the power to create a life that truly lights you up.